Hey guys, good evening. I hope I'm pretty much audible as well as visible. Great. So, warm good evening to everyone today. As again planned, we'll be talking about the lead code problems on Python, so advanced Python scripting. So, we'll be talking about those. So, again, if anybody is having any concerns, anything of whatsoever we have discussed so far, just put up your question in the chat. So, we'll try to take that. Uh, and as always, I'm monitoring my chat, guys. Right, so do put up your questions in the chat box. I'll try to take that to the best of my knowledge. Great. So again, warm welcome to everyone. Very good evening. It's a cold weather. I hope everybody is doing well. Great. So again, just to brief up, so in this session, again, we'll be taking the lead code problems on Python programming exercises. So that's going to be a different playlist. So I have bifurcated the previous 6 lessons where we have covered the programming exercises, right? So I have just bifurcated them into a different playlist. So but there's going to be Python programming exercises. So you're going to be seeing a different playlist under my name. So the operations teams is working on that, but there'll be a different playlist for this. So it'll be easier for you to track those videos. Right. So again, in this session as well, we'll be doing the problems and the live problems. Hey Chandramali, thank you so much. Good evening. Thank you for joining in. Great. So let's start, guys, quickly. Again, we're going to start with the basic round of introduction as always. So my name is Arpit Jain and I'm a senior data scientist myself. I have been into industry for almost 9 years now, into multiple domains, be it finance, manufacturing, automobile, telecommunications. So I've been into multiple industries. And also along with this, I'm as well a motivational speaker. So I take industry sessions. I talk to students regarding their career, jobs. So any concerns regarding any of your data science issues or whatsoever, right? So maybe towards your job, data science, or whatsoever you have a questions, right? So do put up your question in the chat. So we'll try to take that, right? Also, as part of our subjects, we'll be talking about Python, SQL, as well as data science. So Python, we are doing over the days, so weekdays. So we are doing right now, we are solving the problems on for the competitive programming on Leetcode, and as well as HackerRank. So that's 2 we are targeting. And SQL, we are going over the weekend. So we have started with the premium series on Leetcode. So this weekend, we had solved around 15 odd questions on the premium series for the SQL, right? So we did solve those questions. I request you to please go through that. If you have any concerns, you can ask me that as well. So data science, we have finished visualization using Seaborn. We then finished NLP, natural language processing, using NLTK as well as Spacey. So we did those. Right, so again, we have few good things planned ahead for this subsequent months, right? Stay tuned, guys. So as always, before proceeding, we're going to have just a quick round of promotion. So please bear with me for this, right? Hey Rajkumar, good evening. Thank you so much for joining in. Great. So you can see a code right in front of your screen, guys. That's Python 10. So if you're going to use the code Python 10, you're going to get a bonus free ReLevel sample test paper. So what is it, guys? So please bear with me. It's a mandatory promotion. So many a times candidates do miss out on the great opportunities due to multiple reasons, right? And they don't have a better degree, right? And also it could be like they have poor networking, right? So they don't know the right set of people to ask for the referrals, or not having a degree from a good tier A universities, right? Also, the resumes you're applying, it's not really standing out from 100 other applicants for the same job. That's because you might be missing out certain keywords or something which is totally beyond your control. Also, you're applying to a number of jobs, but still you're not getting even a single interview call. So very practical problem, guys. Almost everybody faces this, but to cater this only, ReLevel has been introduced by Unacademy, which is actually India's first test hiring platform by Unacademy, helping you to get your dream job. Right, so how does it work? So it's more of a testing platform where you're purely dependent on your skills and talent and nothing on any sort of degree or people networking, right? So you're purely based on your skills and talent. So here, what do we do? So it's more of an assessment, right? So we're gonna go through an assessment, just like more like an examination. So the only expectation from you here is to get the best score out of this right? So, and when I say best score, it's more like get the best marks you can, right? And that's purely based on your knowledge. So if you're knowledgeable enough, you should be getting the good score, right? And that's the only expectation here. So once you have the right score, you can always expect the companies to reach out to you. Cool. Certain other benefits also involved if you participate in this ReLevel testing platform. That includes at least 50 plus companies, including the top startups and the unicorns. They hire directly from the ReLevel platform, right? So they have the internal tie-ups from the ReLevel platform. Also, at least 1,000 plus open job positions right now across 3 different portfolios: business development, front end, and the back end development. Multiple sub roles also available within these. Also, this is completely online, guys, so you can take this from the comfort of your home. So you're not supposed to be physically present anywhere. So you can just take this from the comfort of your home. You're not supposed to go anywhere for this. And the best part is this is completely free. So you're not paying even a single penny to attempt this test. This is completely free, right? And the only expectation from you here is to finish the entire test in a single day. So there will be multiple rounds. So the expectation would be to finish the entire test in a single day's time, okay? And once you have given the test, the scores will be revealed in a week's time. And it's an assessment anyway, so I mean, there's a qualifying score too. So you are expected to get at least 70% marks. In any unfortunate situation, if you are unable to get that 70% marks, you can always reattempt a test, but that can happen only after 30 days of your first attempt, right? And again, anyway, higher the better. So on the other hand, if you're also the top scorer, you will be awarded also with some exciting goodies like MacBook, iPhone, and all that. So you can always be watchful for those. So basically, with this ReLevel, you are in a unique position, guys, to invite interest from companies instead of you hunting for your own opportunities, right? It's more like once you have given the test, sit back and relax. The companies will start reaching out to you, right? Cool. Registration is also quite simple. You can go through the link which is there in the YouTube description. So just go through that link. The very first thing asked from you would be to choose a test of your choice. 3 options here. So business development, front end, and the back end development. Multiple sub roles like the sales associate, customer engagement associate in the business development, Angular developer, web developer in front end, backend engineer, data engineer in the backend development, right? So multiple sub roles within these. You can choose a test of your choice. The next would be that slot, right? So when you want to take up the test, so you can always book the slot based on your availability. Again, slots are limited. It's a beta platform, so I would request you to book it fast. At last, you have an option to fill up your demographics like the full name, email ID, birth year, current state, along with your gender. And then last, you have an option of a promo code where you can just fill up the code Python 10. So with this Python 10, do not forget to use the code Python 10 here. So if you're going to use the code Python 10, you're going to unlock a free bonus sample test paper for you, right? So if you would have used the code Python 10, you must be seeing this dashboard for you. So where you have an option of practice, where you are seeing the sample paper. So you can download the sample paper, right? So that's going to help you to practice the questions which you can expect from the real interviews, real examinations, right? Cool. So guys, at least try it for once if you're anywhere looking out for a job, right? And it's a win-win situation for you. You're not paying anywhere a single penny here, right? So do try it for once. I mean, if you're not getting benefited out of it, you can always take your decisions elsewise later. But at least try it for once. It's anyway of no cost, right? So with this, you are also expected to join an official Telegram channel. So again, the link is there in the YouTube description, guys. So please do join this channel. That's gonna help you for your upcoming schedules and classes, wherever the upcoming schedules. You will not be running here and there for this. So guys, with this, the only request from you is do like and share the video. So that's the least I can expect from you, right? So we are spending time with you. We are putting our efforts, right? So everything takes time, and it takes a lot of efforts to come to you and then talk to you like this. So at least the least we can expect from you is do like and share the video, right? So if you feel that you're getting benefited, do like and share the video. That's the least I can expect from you. Cool. So with this, we are into the programming exercise. So we'll be talking about the Python programming. Guys, apologies. I just had a power cut. So I think you must have lost me for a minute. Apologies for that. Let me know if I'm audible, guys. Meanwhile, let me take a few questions. So Venkatesh Rao is saying, Will you teach Python? Yes, we are doing that. No, so we are teaching Python. Why not? We are doing that. And will you teach Python and DSA in Unacademy? So DSA, I think somebody else might be taking up, but exactly I won't say particularly in DSA. But yes, we are covering few topics likewise. Okay, we have a question from Vice Ansari. Sir, can we attempt both front-end and the back-end exam at once? I mean, one day front-end exam and another back-end exam, or is there any restriction like we can't we different tests together? Yeah, you can try it once. To be honest, even for the details, you can always get the details on the website once you log in. But you can try it for once. I mean, I won't comment on this further. Please try it from the website directly. Cool. Quickly, guys. So let me just pull up my browser. Just a minute. Let me know if my screen is visible. So I'm gonna pull up the Leetcode. I hope my screen should be visible to you. Right. Okay. So we have unable to find you in Unacademy. You're unable to find me in Unacademy. Okay, that's interesting. Okay. I mean, you can search my name, maybe Arpit Jain, on the application. You should be able to find me. I mean, unfortunate. I mean, that's something which is strange. I'll check the ops team if I'm not visible, but you should be able to find me with my name. Thagat Basu, yes, absolutely. I can see your chat. It's pretty much live, so I can see your chat. Great. So let's jump to the questions, right? Cool. So I think we were here. So yeah. So this is the last question we submitted, right? So we were into this question, integer to Roman. So okay. So I think I'm not sure. So I think we did all these questions. I'm not sure. I think we did all this question. We did not submit it. Okay. Anybody is having any concern in these questions? Also, do let me know. We can repeat it, or else we can just proceed from here. Right. Cool. Meanwhile, so if you have anything, so do let me know. Like if you want to repeat any question, I can do that. Or meanwhile, I can just start with the sequence as always. Right? Any preferences? Do let me know the number so we can take up. I mean, try to be in the sequence. It's always better that we can track the things. But still, I mean, if you have any specific preference, anything, so do let me know. We can always take that. Should not be a problem. Right. Cool. So again, as always, we're gonna stick to the basic rule here. So we're gonna be having 3-4 things here. So whenever we write the codes, you know that. So we're gonna first write the inputs. We will be seeing what are the inputs we have. We're gonna see what is the exact output we are looking for from the code. What is the expected output. Then we're gonna see what is a constraint. So constraint basically for my edge condition, right? And then we're gonna have the flow. So like more of a lingual meaning of my code. So more of understanding what exactly we want from the code, right? And then post that, we're gonna see how exactly we can think that. Cool, great. So let's proceed. Okay, so let's see. Cool. Okay, we have a question here. Roman numerals are represented by 7 different symbols. Yes. So I, V, X, L, C, and D, and M. Cool. Yeah. So we have I is 1, V is 5. We have seen that X10, L50, C100, D500, M1000. Right. So for example, 2 is written in 2. Yes, that's true. And Roman numeral just to ones added together. Yes, 12 is written in x22, which is simply x plus 2, right? So number is 27 is written in xx v55, so xx plus v plus 2. Cool. Yeah. So Roman numerals are usually written largest to smallest from left to right, right? So basically from left to right, largest to smallest. Yes. However, the numeral is 4 is not, right? So it's not 4 times I. Instead of numeral 4, it's written as 4. I mean IV, right? Because 1 is before the 5 is subtracted, making 4. Correct, right? So basically, V ke pehle I hai, there's gonna be IV, right? So same principle applies to the number 9, which is IX. There are 6 instances which subtraction is used, where subtraction is used. So we have mentioned here. So IX. Right, so it's going to be for 5, for 9, likewise for 40, for 90, then for 400, for 900 and all that. Cool. Great, fair enough. So expected guess. So given a Roman integer, convert into integer. So basically output kya chahiye mere ko? Numeral. Okay, so from Roman to numeral. Cool. And then we're gonna have the input as Roman character. Cool. And then we have all of these things. So we're gonna make sure that these all symbols are represented. That's gonna be let's put it on the constraints. And then what will we have? So we have all of these as my constraints. So that's gonna be my IV thing. Cool. We're gonna look at this. Okay, we have a few more questions. Flipkart में front end और back end क्या होता है? Okay, थोड़ा सा irrelevant question है यार. Let's stick to the topic. BHRB coding. Let's stick to the topic. Kaushik ji, sir, I want to start DSA for job interviews with Python. Please suggest best source to learn in detail from scratch. Again, I would say it's more of I mean, I cannot recommend anything here because it's more of a confidentiality issue. But again, Google is your best friend. Yeah, you might find some really good courses available, some blogs. So just try to Google it, Kaushik. Again, same question. Rishabh Singh, Kaushik ji, you can buy course. I also did the same. Okay, great. Please, thank you so much for advising. Great. Okay, let's start quickly. So we have the example here. So it's gonna be more of I. So that's gonna be my input, and then we have to be printing output as 3, right? So likewise LV, I and all that. So we're gonna be having 58 likewise. So basically, okay. So that's gonna be my constraint. And we all have, so one S length should be less than 15, and that's fine. S contains only characters, only these characters has to be part of my logic, fine. It is guaranteed that S is valid Roman numeral in the range 1 to 4000. So basically I'm only expected to convert it from 1 to 4000 only, 3999 basically, right? So that's fine. Okay, so basically यही 6 मेरे पास ये operand मतलब 6 different conditions हैं. चलो quickly guys, आपको इसमें if you have to code this, I'm not asking you to write the code for me, right? Just tell me according to you what could be your approach. आप इसको किस तरीके से solve कर सकते हो? आपको इसमें क्या समझ में आ रहा है? Just tell me a few English lines like what do you think could be my approach here? Just quickly, आपको क्या समझ में आ रहा है? फटाफट. Let's try to figure out the things, ना? So let's try to figure out the things, and उसमें हम बनाते हैं. देखो अभी मैं कुछ लिख रहा हूं. Let's try to figure out the flow here. So we have the Roman numeral, right? So Roman numeral है. Cool. And that's gonna be written in the in this fashion. So we have to find out my IV and all of my characters 1 1 and all that. So this is gonna be my thing. So what can we have? So what can we do in this case? For some of the odd scenarios, like the way we did for our I think numeral to Roman, right? We did create more of my mapping. Remember, so we created a mapping kind of a thing. So we just wrote like 1 ka kya hota hai, and then for 5, for 10, for 50, for 100. So we wrote all of those things, right? And likewise, यहाँ पे भी we can create. So what's the problem? So we can just create some of the a mapping for more of a dictionary. So जहाँ पे we'll say that okay, I is 1 basically, V is 5, X is 10, L is 50 and all that. So we can just keep on writing these things. So for example, that's gonna be my prime input here, and then post that what can we do? So from each of the characters, so like what we can do is we can just keep on iterating over my individual length on the reverse order maybe, right? And then what can we do? So we can just find out my Roman character. So what is the meaning of that number? And then just keep on adding the values. What's it? Just keep on adding the numerals on my maybe we can initiate with the 0, and then we can just keep on adding the multiplier on top of that. We can do that. Simple है. मेरे को तो ये समझ में आ रहा है. Again, so we can use a loop. Yes, absolutely. Anyway, loop is required because आपको हर एक character पे जाना है. So looping is definitely required. Define Roman numerals and assign the values. Exactly. So Ashish absolutely correct. So we're gonna define more of I would say what I'm thinking here is, so we'll be Roman numeral input है ना. So we're gonna be creating some mapping here. So we're gonna be doing some mapping of Roman to numeral. So basic characters. So जो मेरे पास ये आपको दिख रहा है ना, ये I, V, X, D. So we're gonna do that. So we have to specify ना. So we're gonna do a mapping of Roman to numeral. Basic numeral कर देंगे. And then what we can do? and then on the loop, so loop to find the characters in reverse order. So last to end. Okay, and then इसमें what can we do? And then we can for each of my characters, so we can initiate here number as 0, for example, right? And then for each of my characters, I can just keep adding the literal meaning. We can do that. Simple, eh? We can do that, right? So more of and then this, for how long this will be going? It will be like length of my character -1, obviously. So it's going to be length of my character till mine. That's going to be my range of my individual number, right? So this is what a basic logic looks like to me. So we can always do that. This looks more feasible. So quickly start karte hain. So we have this solution in front of us. We can just simply create some mapping for now. So we can create some, say, there's like a Roman as a mapping for me. Okay, so I've created a dictionary. So what I'm saying, say I is basically what, 1, and then I have what? So I have V, that's gonna be 5, and then I have what? So I have X, that's gonna be 10, right? And then I have I have what? So I have X के बाद क्या आ रहा है? L, and then we have L as 50, and then we have L के बाद क्या आ रहा है? C आ रहा है. C is my 100, है ना? And then C के बाद आ रहा है D. D is basically my 500, and then I have what? M. M is basically 1000. ठीक है? Simple मैंने एक मैपिंग बना दिया. अब मैं क्या करूँगा? What I'm thinking, suppose अगर मैं क्या कर रहा हूँ? X V I X V I पास करूँ, which is 27, right? 27 है X V I, ठीक है? अब मैं क्या कर रहा हूँ? Suppose मैं यहाँ से I उठा लूँ सबसे पहले, तो there will be 2, right? And then मैं 5 उठा लूँ, that's gonna be what? Plus 5, and then gonna be what? X is gonna be plus 10, and then gonna be X again plus 10. So sum क्या हो गया? This will be 27. We can get it like this also, right? So if we take it on the reverse order, we can still find the exact value. Making sense? Exactly same logic I'm going to implement here, okay? This is what I was explaining you in this part. So let's do that. So what can we do here in this case? So we have the numbers, so we have the solution, so some of my integers. So I'm just gonna define my, say, integer as my 0 for now. Okay, so I'm gonna initiate as integer as 0. So I'm gonna just keep on appending. So as I've always said, for anything, so wherever you have some loop where you want to add a counter, or where you want to add something, right? So always initiate with the 0. So for any counter, for any summation, right, you can always initiate with a 0 value. And then wherever there is a string, right, so where you expect some kind of append, some in the loop you want to add something, so you want to create a new string, so you can always initiate with an empty string and then keep on adding the characters on that empty string. So there are just two eye opener. So for a thing, so more of, if you can always initiate for a counter or a sum with a 0, and for a string you can always initiate with an empty string. So always always be watchful of these. Okay, so here we're going to initiate with a value of 0, and then because on top of this I'll be adding 2, so 0 plus 2 will become 2, and then 0 plus 2 plus 5 will become 7, then plus 10 will become 27, right? We can always do that. That's what I'm trying to do here. Cool. So for this, and now I want to find out each of my characters, each of my basically Roman characters, right? So how can I do that? For I in what? This particular value, and this is what? This is basically my S, right? This S is being passed as my string. So simply agar मैं बोलूं for I in S, that's gonna be what? And if we're gonna do so print of I, we're gonna be getting each of the characters. But this is not what we want, right? So this is not what we want. So we want it in a reverse order, because I want to check in the reverse order. So in this, what can we do? So in this case, okay, so it's gonna be range of length of S. So that's going to be my range of length of S minus 1, because that's where we'll be starting from this, start end minus 1, then minus 1 step, my step size, and then from the backward. Is it making sense? Start, stop, step, right? So we're going to be doing it from this till the end of this character. Minus 1, that's going to be my end till the first character, and the step is minus 1, so in the reverse order, the backward order. Cool? That's what I'm going to be doing the range as. So that's where I'll be getting each of my characters, I, then V, then X, right? So that's what I'll be getting it here, right? Now what? So now सबसे पहले हम क्या कर लेते हैं? I have the I here, right? So for this I, we can always get the number. So number कहाँ से मिलेगा मेरे को? Number मिलेगा मेरे को Roman से मिलेगा. So if I get Roman of, so if I take the Roman of my S of my I, does it make sense? So for each of my ith character, so I'll be doing S of I, and then I'll be taking the Roman of it. So basically I'll be converting this character, the string, into the numeral value based on my mapping I have. Making sense, guys? So I'm just converting this into my numeral character. Cool? Now what? So now I have one more condition here, right? So this is fine. Now I have to think of one more condition here. So what about this? So I have, this is what 27, right? So think for 24. So in this 24, I'll be having what? X, what? I, V, X, I, V, right? So if I do this logic, it'll become what? So it'll be like 5 plus 1 plus 10 plus 10, it'll become 26, right? If I go with this logic, but it's not true, right? It has to be 5 minus 1 and then plus 10 plus 10. You're getting this logic? Because this is not true. This is, in this case, this is not true, right? So how can we do that? So, for example, what can we do in this case? Okay, so if my number, so the number which I have found here, okay, so if this is lesser than, okay, so what can I do here is, if my V value, if my V value is 5, right? So 5 में अगर मैं करता हूँ, 4 into 5 is gonna be 20, and then 20, and then this 20 gonna be lesser than 0. So in this case, this is not true. This makes sense, right? It is gonna be basically 4 का multiple है ना ये. So what can we do? Okay, so this is making sense. So what if we add a condition here? If the value here, so if like 4 cross my number is lesser than my answer. So if my 4 cross number is lesser than my integer value here, so which is nothing but my 0, in this case, it has to do my integer में इसको minus करना है. It's going to be like minus equal to my number. Cool? Else it has to int plus equal to number. Cool? Simple है. Same logic मैंने apply कर दिया. So what I've done is, अगर इस टाइप का मेरे पास नंबर आएगा 24th की कंडीशन में, या फिर आपका और कौन सा कंडीशन है जहां पर मेरी वैल्यूज आएंगी, जहां पे बैट होगा. सो 40 मतलब बेसिकली उसके बैक वाला कंडीशन कहाँ गया यार? हाँ, सो 24 है, एंड देन वी हैव 29, राइट? सो मोर ऑफ माई 4 का मल्टीपल्स में वी कैन थिंक ऑफ, राइट? So in this case, so if I'm just going to take 4 of numbers less than integer end, then it's going to be we're going to subtract it by number, or else we're going to do an addition of number. Yeah, looks good to me. Cool. And then in this case, so we have this thing then, so we're going to just return my integer value. Cool, makes sense guys? Any concerns in this? Let me just comment this out. थोड़ा सा small सा trick है यहाँ पे, बस इज लाइक अगर वो सेम लॉजिक को इफ आई कीप ऑन जस्ट अपेंडिंग इट राइट, तो प्रॉब्लम इज कि 26 का तो 27 का तो वैलिड है बट 24 का वैलिड नहीं है, तो वहां पर एक ये स्मॉल चेक लगाना पड़ेगा मुझे, वो कब माइनस करना है कब प्लस करना है. Yes, absolutely, Dragon. Very, very good. So yes, we have to assign the, I mean, the negative flag की जगह पे मैंने directly integer पे ही negative कर दिया और plus कर दिया, same है, but logic आपका बिल्कुल वही है जो मैं बोलना चाह रहा हूँ. Correct, absolutely correct. Great, let's try to run this out. क्या problem हो गई? So Roman is not, oh shit, did I remove the Roman completely? What is this? Okay, my bad. So fine, let's run this now. Right, making sense. ठीक है, logic wise is pretty good. एक बार submit भी कर देते हैं इसको if we have any edge conditions if we might have missed out. Cool, great. ठीक है, so we have implemented that edge condition also. I mean basically दो ही condition जो मुझे दिख रहे थे, वो एक तो था आपका एक पहले आ रहा है और एक बाद में आ रहा है ना, तो जहाँ पे मुझे कब negative flag करना है and कब positive flag करना है, that is the only thing which we wanted to look out for. So that is fine. Cool. ठीक है, cool, done. So we submitted this one, right? So let's look at the other one, longest common prefix. Hey, hi Shubham, thank you for joining in. यार NLP का तो कर दिया, खत्म हो गया. NLP का कौन सा बच गया? NLP का आपका NLP का हमने वो खत्म कर दिया ना, स्पेसी एंड NLT के दोनों खत्म कर दिया शुभम. Inputs and then we're gonna have outputs and then we're gonna have constraints and then we're gonna have flow. ठीक है यार, बट लेकिन आप देख सकते हो ना कि आप रिकॉर्डिंग्स में देख लेना, वो Python for Data Science करके एक प्लेलिस्ट है, so we'll get the videos there. हाँ, स्पेसी ट्रेनिंग समझा नहीं मैं यार. फंक्शंस बताएं, ट्रेनिंग कोई स्पेसिफिक रिक्वायरमेंट है तो बताओ, I'll plan the session, बट ऐसा कुछ ट्रेनिंग तो नहीं कराया मैंने कुछ. ठीक है, चलो meanwhile let's look at the question. Write a function to find the longest common prefix string among an array of strings. Okay, write a function to find the longest common prefix string. Okay, so longest common prefix string, ये आउटपुट में चाहिए मुझे. ठीक है, so if there is no common prefix, return an empty string. So again concept में क्या है, empty string has to be taken care. ठीक है, this is important. Cool, now look at this. So we have the inputs here. So flower, flow, flight. Okay, so array of words हैं. So the common is FL. Right, longest common in all the words basically. So input क्या है, array of strings है मेरे पास. ठीक है, so we have to figure out what all characters are common in all of these. Right, so here again the input is dog, race, car and car. So there's nothing common, so there's going to be no output here, so it's going to be the empty condition का constraint. We'll look at this. ठीक है, so again, so we have the string length and all that. So string length is going to be less than 200. Fair enough. So string, yeah, fair enough. So string I only consists the lower case. ठीक है, चलो, fair enough. So we have to question. Suhas is premium SQL LC is important to cover with the data science SQL interviews, right? I would say yes, because I have observed the questions which are generally asked in the interviews for the coding rounds on SQL, right? They are vaguely based on those set of questions. So I won't say directly. I mean, it cannot be the same question, right? But yeah, again, it's more about practicing. The premium questions are actually pretty good, and you can always expect the similar question in your interviews. So again, a very good place to look forward for. अच्छा कस्टम मॉडल ट्रेनिंग क्या नहीं कस्टम मॉडल नहीं करा है सो आई थिंक शुभम आई थिंक एनएलटीके पे हमने एक लाइव डेमो किया था ना सो आई कैन प्लान द लाइव डेमो ऑन स्पेसी आल्सो आई विल मेक अ कस्टम मॉडल ट्रेनिंग फॉर यू विल डू दैट so maybe I'll try to give this weekend only or this week only or maybe next week I'll plan it. I'll do that. ठीक है चलो let's do this. So I think pretty much simple. इसमें भी ज़्यादा कुछ करना नहीं है बेसिकली इसमें हमें जो समझ में आ रहा है कि हमें सारे strings को तो लेना ही पड़ेगा and then we have to look at the strings and just keep on looking at the basic conditions. So like how many lengths for each of my lengths, how many characters are there, just keep on comparing with my other strings, right? So अभी हम इसमें क्या कर सकते हैं flow क्या करोगा simple क्या है definitely to loop over all strings. That is the prime requirement because anyway I have the array of strings, right? So looping over of strings is important, right? This is anyway important. This is anyway a mandatory criteria for me. Now for all of this strings, what do I need? So for each string, look out for start characters. Cool. Maybe we can just keep on store in temp, maybe, right? Temp 1 2 3 depending on n strings whatever we have, right? We can do that and then we can always compare, right? Compare the strings, compare the temps basically, right? Now what we can do is we can also again it's a counter, guys. Look at this again, it's more of a counter, right? So we are counting the number of maximum strings we can have. So again we can initialize, so may say initial counter as 0, right? So for each of the loop we can just keep on adding counter plus 1. So if this is true, so basically if if true, then we're going to do counter plus 1, else break. समझ में आ रहा है simple? If people are able to understand this logic? Guys, just a quick yes or no. If you are able to understand this logic. Right, absolutely, Shubham. Thank you so much. Yes, absolutely great. So we're going to initialize a counter, like a count or counter whatever value. And then as for every loop, if the characters are matching up, we're going to just keep on adding up my loop counters. Right, just a minute, guys. I think I dropped something. Okay, it looks like it's gone. Okay, great. Chalo, let's start coding it now. So we have it here, and then what can we do? Chalo. Same thing है. Let's try to implement this longest common prefix. अभी हम क्या करते हैं हमारा एक counter को initialize कर देते हैं. So counter is gonna be what? So counter is gonna be my longest common prefix. नहीं हमें prefix चाहिए, right? So basically I want the prefix. So I don't want the number here. I want what? So I want my longest common prefix in terms of a string मेरे को चाहिए, right? So what can we do? So we can just have in fact of counter we can initialize as a prefix kind of a thing. It's like a more of an empty string here for me, right? So now again look at this, guys. So okay, I am Braja says no sir, repeat. Okay, fair enough. Repeat, I'll just again tell you that. Suraj says just carry the common prefix while looping, right? Initialize the prefix with the first string in the list. Yes, I think great. Yeah, here I think it's more like we have to initialize a prefix instead of looking a looper, because we anyway have to find the prefix, right? So for the loop we can always just keep on looking at it as a temporary variable in my looping, but we can just keep on appending the prefix here, so we can do that, right? Great. So yeah, logic क्या बताया था मैंने? So we're gonna have all the strings, right? So all the string of words, I mean array of my strings. So we're gonna just keep on checking all the strings, how many till the n numbers we have, and then for each of these numbers, I'm gonna just keep on looking out my initial characters, right? Suppose for the first loop, my first character, the second loop, the second character. For each of these loop, if all of the conditions like temp1, temp2, temp3 are equal, I'm gonna just keep on appending the prefixes or the characters on my empty string, which is prefix. So that's what I'll be planning to do here. Right, so that's the logic. So now I have my longest common prefix as more of a prefix sorted here, right? So now here, what can we think of the things? So I have my strings mentioned here, right? So more of my list of strings. That's more of my strs. So it's like this is like list of strings, right? So it's gonna be my list of strings. So we have to loop it over length of my strings. So how can we do that? So let's try to solve this. So we have the looping here, and so we have my length of my strs. So that's gonna be my length of my strings. That's gonna be my individual number of characters, right? So so what can we do? Again, thing is, I'm just thinking of a condition here. Again, there is one thing which is missing actually. So it's also about looking at the number of loops we have to go, right? It's more like we have to find out what is the how many number of loops we want to go into. So there are two loops basically, right? So just look at this. So there are I could think of two loops, right? So there are two loops. So first is checking the number of strings, right? And the second loop is post this. We want to look how many characters, right? Characters strings have. So for this, what we can do, we can take a base condition. So we can just take maybe any of this. So we can just take a first string as a base for me, right? And then that's gonna be the minimum number of times I will have to go through that. So minimum number of times I will have to loop over my string. That is one thing which I can think of, right? And then we can also find out my minimum of my words. Okay, so what can I do is, so we have to find out actually the minimum of my word here. So that's gonna be my minimum number of loops, right? So what we can do here is, okay, so so basically we can do a minimum of my length, my character length of all strings. This is what I want to achieve, right? So I want the minimum of all the character length from my available list of words. This is what I want to achieve, right? So what can I do here? So in this case, can I just define for words in my what? So I have my strings. So for words in my range, sorry, my bad. What was that? So strs, right? So for strs that was. So for word in my range of words 1, comma length of strs. So that's going to be my for I in range of 1, comma length of strs. I'll be defining my loop, my character loop would be what? Minimum of my again the length of my strs of 0, comma length of strs of I. Can we get that? So we'll be getting a character loop here, right? So in fact, character loop, then we'll have to keep on defining it. So in fact, let's do that. Let's do, in fact, instead of taking this here, let's define this term earlier only. So we're gonna take the same name, character loop. That's gonna be my first, okay? So, and then the same thing, we're gonna take a minimum of my character loop on this. So that's gonna be appended. So basically, at the end of this, I'll be having the number of loop for character count. That's going to be the minimum. So minimum of my characters here. So because उससे ज़्यादा तो हो भी नहीं सकता, right? उससे ज़्यादा तो हो भी नहीं सकता. So it is actually simpler. So we just have the character loop जो हमें figure out करना है. ये basic check है जो we have just done. So now I have. So अब ये हमारा ये loop का character निकल गया, ठीक है? अब इसके बाद हम क्या कर सकते हैं? So now I have this thing done. Now I can just loop it over my individual characters. So for I in again my range of 0 to character loop. Okay, so that's gonna be for I in range of my character loop here. So what? So I'm gonna be having so we're gonna check the characters, right? Okay, so can we have the first character? So let's have, say, maybe current. So just define it as a current. So more of a current. That's gonna be what? It's gonna be my strs of 0 of I. Right, so the first character of my strings. So that's going to be my current character. And now, once this current is identified for my first string, on top of this, I can just again write another loop. So for j in my range of my words now. So I want to find it on the whether this current is also part of my individual 0th character of all the words I have, right? This is what my objective is. So for j in range of my 0 till my what? Till my length of my word. So length of my strs here. Cool. So I've just saved my first character now. Now what I'm checking is for whether this current word is actually the same in all my words also or not, right? So if this is fine, now for this part, for j in range of 0 of length of my strs, if my strs of so what? So we want j strf of j, so my jth character, right? And jth of my what? So jth of my first character. So I jth. So jth word and the ith character. So ith character is what? My 0 in this case. Likewise, we keep on appending for the loop, right? So strings of my j of my I. In this case, I'm gonna have. So I have to append on my this, right? So if this is true, I'm gonna append it or else break, right? So if this is equal to my current, right? So I'm gonna do what? So I'll be appending on my prefix. So this is gonna be my prefix plus equal to prefix plus equal to current, right? That's gonna be true. If this is fine, I'm gonna have prefix is equal to current. No, but again I'll be needing it to check for my character. So in fact I should write it vice versa. If this is not true, because what if it is okay for the first, it'll just append it here, right? And what if it is not valid for the second? It would have anyway appended it, right? So I should write in the reverse order. So if whenever it is not true, then in this case just return my prefix, or if this is fine, else. In the else condition, I should be writing. So if this is fine, I should be writing else here. Rather, I should be writing it on ahead of my loop. So it's more of like this part. I'll be writing so return prefix. Or if this is fine, just close the loop. I'll be having my prefix plus equal to my current. So that's gonna be my value here, and then at the end I'll be returning prefix. Logic makes sense, guys? So we have a couple of questions here. So Swapnil says, hi sir, please start deep learning series. Absolutely Swapnil, plan तो है यार. In fact deep learning में हमने NLP करा है, so we'll do other things also. Shubham, if the size of list is fixed then it'll be easy. यार यही प्रॉब्लम है ना, so size fixed नहीं है तो इसको n characters पे ही लेके जाना पड़ेगा, loop में ही लेके जाना पड़ेगा. Words not I. मैंने क्या कर दिया? So for words in I कर दिया मैंने. कहाँ पे क्या कर दिया मैंने? Length of strings of, yes, correct, absolutely right. So for words in range of length, simple रखते हैं ना इसको, फिर इसको भी I करते हैं. So for I in range of length is character loop is min of length of हाँ ठीक है, चल I रखते हैं, simple रखते हैं, words लंबा हो जाता है, दिक्कत होती है. But good observation यार, ना यार error आ जाती है मुझे वो. Thank you so much. So अभी मैं क्या कर रहा हूँ? I think ये तो सही लग रहा है लॉजिक मुझे, है ना? लॉजिक सही है. तो कैरेक्टर लूप निकाल दिया मैंने सबसे पहले, कितने कैरेक्टर पे जाना है मुझे, एंड देन फॉर दिस कैरेक्टर लूप आई हैव माय करंट डिफाइंड. सो आई जस्ट टुक द करंट माय करंट स्ट्रिंग and then I just matched whether this current string is same for all of my words also. If it is true, then keep on appending with my prefix. Right? Cool, fair enough. Chalo, let's quickly check the code if it is fine. Let's run this. Looks good to me, but let's check if there's any error. Cool. So this looks fine to me. So we have the flower, flight, expert, FL. तो logic तो सही है यार, है ना? Cool. चलो, let's submit this. Great. So we have the submission also done. Pretty much good. So we have the character loop and all that. So pretty much sorted. Simple, eh? Great. Let's move to the next question. चलो ये हो गया 14. 15 करें. Okay, विकास is saying Leetcode problem number 29 करते हैं. हाँ क्यों नहीं कर सकते हैं? 29 भी कर सकते हैं यार. People are okay with 29. 29 में क्या है? Divide two integers. Let's do that. Or I'll still prefer doing it by sequence, but still again, if people are okay with 29 also, just quickly let me know if you're okay with the Leetcode 29 problem. Guys, quickly, 29 is okay. Okay, interesting है, वही कर लेते हैं, कोई टेंशन नहीं है, वही कर लेंगे. So का 29 वही कर लेते हैं. Okay, cool. Chalo, let's do that, and we'll still stick to the same concept. We're gonna have inputs, we're gonna have outputs, and then we're gonna have constraints, we're gonna have flow. Okay, let's do that. Chalo. So given two integers, dividend and divisor. Divide two integers without using multiplication, division and mod operator. Acha, okay, interesting यार. Actually interesting question है. So given two integers, dividend and divisor, divide two integers without using these. Okay, let's do that. Okay, so we have the dividend and divisor as my input, है ना? So we have to divide without using these. Cool. So divide without using these. We'll do that. So the integer division should truncate towards 0. So the integer division should truncate towards 0, which means losing its fractional part. For example, 8.345 would be truncated to 8, okay, and minus 2.7335 would be truncated to minus 2. Okay, so basically there's no decimal they want, now. Should be truncated toward the 0, matlab, which means losing its fractional part. ठीक है? So constant क्या है? No fraction. So it's only integer, है ना? So only integer part. We'll check that. Only integer. So now return the question after dividing. Okay, so ठीक है, मैं वही चाहिए, no problem. So note, assuming we are dealing with an environment that could only store integers within 32-bit range. Okay, so again same 32-bit का logic है हमारे पास. So constraint है ये, है ना? So ये एक हमारा constraint है. We're gonna be writing these. Then we'll have the range of my values. So range, this is gonna be my range. You know? And then we have, for this problem, if the question is strictly greater than this, then return this, and the question is strictly less than this, then return this. Okay, so again greater greater का भी logic है. We'll put it that simply, हमने करा हुआ है already, है ना? अगर ये greater than this है, so it's like if greater than this, so I'm gonna return this. Okay, so then return this. Or if is less than minus 2 to the power of 31, then it's gonna be minus 2 to the power of 31. So again rounding ka logic hai, we'll see that. Yeah, Shubham, absolutely, there is a rounding logic involved. We'll see that. Cool. So again, so example क्या है? So dividend is 10, divisor is 3, so output is 3. So 10 by 3 होगा. So okay, truncated to 3. Again input dividend 7 है, divisor minus 3 है, so minus 2, 2.333 and all that. ठीक है, चलो cool. And divisor is not equal to 0. चलो ये भी एक constant है. We'll look at this. चलो fair enough. अब क्विकली गैस थोड़ा दिमाग लगाओ, इस पे थोड़ा सोचते हैं, इसको कैसे आप कर सकते हो. फ्लो बताओ मुझे. इसमें अगर आपको इसको करना होगा, सो व्हाट काइंड ऑफ लॉजिक यू कैन इम्प्लीमेंट. पहले इस पे सोचते हैं, है ना. वी विल ट्राई टू लुक एट दिस क्वेश्चन. थोड़ा दिमाग लगाओ, इसमें किस तरीके से आप सॉल्व करना चाहते हो. मल्टीपल लॉजिक दिख रहा है मुझे, मतलब इसमें आई कैन थिंक ऑफ 2-3 थिंग्स फॉर नाउ, बट we'll see कैसे सॉल्व करना है. So we have a suggestion here. So Shubham says subtract dividend with divisor until you get float value. This is my subtract 3 from 10 until you get float. Subtract 3 from 10. So अगर आप 7 कर लोगे until you get float. Why you took 4 in the first question? Why you took 4 in the first question? ये वो था ना लॉजिक हमारा, तो 24, बिकॉज 4 यार मैं तो समझाया था नक्षत आपको. अब वैसे 24 था आपके पास, तो एंड देन आपका अगेन सेम लॉजिक आपका आता है जहाँ पर आपको -1 करेक्टर आ रहा है. सो इट्स बेसिकली ऑन दैट पॉइंट आई टुक 4. we have to take the -1 from 25 na? So that's the logic. Shivam says once you get float, stop during this ops initialize counter +1 until you don't get float. Again right, negative, my bad, right. So okay, so negative right. In fact आप सही कह रहे हो. So अगर इसको हम, if I just keep on subtracting it, yes, absolutely correct, we can do that. So negative पे भी कर सकते हैं, we can do that, making sense. Okay, so इसमें basically हम साइन का एक निकाल सकते हैं ना. So we can just take a sign of my values here and क्या कर सकते हैं यार, तो इसमें सोचना पड़ेगा. So साइन अगर जैसे अगर आपके अप्रोच से भी सॉल्व करता हूँ मैं, आई एम जस्ट थिंकिंग फ्रॉम दैट डायरेक्शन. सो अगर मैं आपके अप्रोच से सॉल्व करता हूँ, सो आई कैन जस्ट क्रिएट अ साइन फ्लैग बेसिकली एट द फर्स्ट इंस्टेंस. एंड साइन फ्लैग में I can have it defined. So again अगर आप माइनस बोल रहे हो, so -3, so 3 times अगर मैं माइनस कर रहा हूँ, so it will be like 3 times. बट अगर उसमें बताए उसमें प्रॉब्लम क्या है, अगेन मेरे को अगर आपका निगेटिव पॉइंट है, फॉर एग्जांपल अगर आपका वैल्यू -10 है ना, तो -10 में अगर आप माइनस करोगे तो नहीं, वो मुझे एब्सोल्यूट करना पड़ेगा फिर उसको, ना वी कैन जस्ट टेक एन एब्सोल्यूट वैल्यू ऑफ दिस एंड देन वी कैन डू दैट. आपका लॉजिक मुझे एक्चुअली सही लग रहा है ना, सो आपका लॉजिक मुझे एक्चुअली सही लग रहा है. चलो मैं एक काम करता हूँ ना, इनफैक्ट विल ट्राई टू यूज दैट लॉजिक ओनली. मुझे एक्चुअली आपका लॉजिक सही लग रहा है. चलो लेट्स ट्राई टू सॉल्व दिस. चलो अभी मैं क्या करना चाह रहा हूँ बेसिकली, बट लेकिन इसमें एक चीज मैं आपको शुभम जो मैं सोच पाया हूँ कि ना, विल ट्राई टू ऐड, हाँ एग्जैक्टली पॉजिटिव कर लेता हूँ, एग्जैक्टली उसको एब्सोल्यूट कर लेते हैं. सो एब्सोल्यूट कर लेते हैं, तो एब्सोल्यूट से दैट विल बी बेटर, है ना. चलो लेट्स डू दैट. सो व्हाट वी कैन डू इज वी कैन जस्ट क्रिएट द एब्सोल्यूट डिविडेंड एट फर्स्ट केस. So what can we do in this case? बट पता है इसमें भी मल्टीपल केसेस में दिमाग में आ रहे हैं मेरे. व्हाट इफ सपोज आपके पास आपका डिविडेंड पॉजिटिव एंड डिवाइजर नेगेटिव है, एंड व्हाट इफ डिवाइजर पॉजिटिव एंड डिविडेंड नेगेटिव है, ये भी तो कंडीशन हो सकता है ना. एंड देन चलो ट्राई करते हैं, अगर कुछ एरर सॉल्व दिस ना, कोई इशू नहीं. चलो एक काम करते हैं, अभी पहले तो हमारे पास डिविडेंड और डिवाइजर है ना, तो सबसे पहले इसको इसी को हम एब्सोल्यूट कर लेते हैं, ठीक है. तो विल राइट इट लाइक दिस. सो डिविडेंड इज इक्वल टू एब्सोल्यूट ऑफ माय डिविडेंड, ठीक है, टू अवॉइड एनी कंफ्यूजन. सो देन विल सी, देन हमको एक नेगेटिव का भी साइन देना पड़ेगा. सो विल हैव टू मेक श्योर दैट नेगेटिव साइन इज ऑल्सो गिवन एब्सोल्यूट से पहले. सो वी कैन जस्ट क्रिएट अ फ्लैग नेगेटिव. ओके, सो नेगेटिव क्या है? इफ माई डिविडेंड इज लेस देन 0, है ना. अरे यार, डिविडेंड इज लेस देन 0. लेकिन डिवाइजर का भी लिखना पड़ेगा ना. अगर सेम मुझे डिवाइजर के लिए भी लिखना पड़ेगा ये फ्लैग. So I can just dividend or divisor, and then we can just say simply not equal to, you know. So dividend is dividend less than 0 and divisor not equal to divisor less than 0. हाँ ठीक है. So I've just created a flag here guys, है ना. So negative एक flag create कर दिया है where this is 0. So because here once I'm done with this, I have to always check, right? So कि input क्या था. So I've just created this negative flag, so we can just create a condition last में कि वो negative था कि नहीं था, है ना. So we'll see that. So I have this divisor and the dividend, right? अब मैं क्या करना चाह रहा हूँ, my quotient चाहिए मुझे, जो बेसिक कितने नंबर ऑफ टाइम में वो डिवाइड करते चले जा रहा है ना. सो हम कैसे कर सकते हैं इसको? क्या कर सकते हैं? सो एक काम करता हूँ, मैं क्वेश्चन को इनिशियलाइज कर देता हूँ 1 से. सो बिकॉज अभी 0 से अगर करूंगा तो वो गलत है ना. डिविडेंड है तो 1, अगर फर्स्ट टाइम कर रहा हूँ तो 1 है, तो नेक्स्ट टाइम करूँगा तो 1 + 1 2 होना चाहिए, राइट. सो इट शुड इनिशियलाइज बाय 1. सो क्वेश्चन को मैं 1 से इनिशियलाइज करता हूँ, एंड देन आंसर को जो है वो मैं 0 से इनिशियलाइज कर देता हूँ. सो बेसिकली जो मेरा फाइनल आंसर होगा, है ना. एंड देन द लूप विल गो while basically my what, so my dividend, while my dividend so while dividend is greater than or equal to my divisor, right. So if this is fine, so while till the time my dividend is greater than or equal to divisor, what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna subtract. So I'm gonna do my dividend minus equal to my divisor. यार बहुत लंबा लिखना पड़ रहा है इसमें. डिविडेंड इज माइनस इक्वल टू डिवाइजर. अगर ये ट्रू है देन मैं क्या करूंगा, आंसर को मैं प्लस कर दूंगा q से, राइट, एंड देन q को भी प्लस कर दूंगा q से. कूल है. एंड इन दिस केस मेरा क्या हो जाएगा टिल टाइम अगेन मेरे को डिवाइजर जो है मेरा डिवाइजर को भी काम करता हूँ ना मैं, इसको भी अपडेट करूँ तो एक कॉल इनिशियलाइज कर देता हूँ। सो मैं एक काम करता हूँ, एक डिवाइजर को लिख देता हूँ यहाँ पे div, इसको भी अपडेट करना पड़ेगा ना मुझे। Let's keep it like this, and then we also do dividend. So we will write dividend is equal to dividend. So now in this case we're gonna write this. So let's not alter this divisor and dividend. So this, and then dividend here. This is true, right? So Q fine, Q सही है मेरा, and then I'm gonna add thing to my divisor also. Divisor plus equal to my divisor. Cool. So now this is fine. Now इसके बाद condition आता है मेरे पास, if my left वाले part में क्या है, if my dividend is less than my divisor. So if my dividend less than my divisor, now in this case we're gonna be doing quotient is equal to 1. So it's gonna be quotient is equal to 1, right? And my divisor will become my actual divisor. Right? Cool. Fair enough. So अगर ये छोटा हुआ तो क्वेश्चन 1 हो जाएगा वापस से, एंड देन विल बी हैविंग जो डिविजर को मैं एक्चुअल डिविजर से रिप्लेस कर दूंगा। कूल है, फेयर इनफ। अगेन सेम लॉजिक शुभम, मैं आपका काम कर रहा हूँ। राइट, आई थिंक गाइस यू आर आल्सो डिस्कसिंग, आप ओके डिस्कस करो। आई थिंक मैं अगेन शुभम मैं आई एम ट्राइंग टू सॉल्व विथ योर लॉजिक ओनली, है ना? सो विथ योर लॉजिक ओनली आई एम ट्राइंग टू सॉल्व। आई थिंक बट आपका लॉजिक एक्चुअली सही है, सो लेट्स ट्राई टू सॉल्व विद दिस लॉजिक ओनली। तो बट इट्स जस्ट लाइक मैंने थोड़ा सा ना फ्लैग क्रिएट कर दिया बिकॉज ये नेगेटिव वाला एक चक्कर लग रहा था मुझे। सो लेट्स सी दैट। अब यहाँ पर क्या है? सो इफ अगेन मेरा कंडीशन है ना, बिकॉज अगेन वैल्यू अगर ग्रेटर बेटर हो गया तो मेरे को वो भी देखना पड़ेगा। तो if my value is not negative, so if not negative, then I'm gonna return what? Return my minimum of return minimum of my answer, and also my my क्या value है? 2 to the power of 31, and 2 to the power of 31 minus 1, in fact minus 1. So 2 to the power of 31 minus 1, right? Or else is gonna be return the max of my answer, or 2 to the power of 31. Cool. आई थिंक ठीक लग रहा है मुझे, लॉजिक तो सही लग रहा है यार। सो मैं क्या कर रहा हूँ, नेगेटिव डिफाइन कर दिया मैंने, डिविडेंड डिवाइजर कर दिया, क्वेश्चन 1 आंसर 0 हो गया, डिविडेंड आंसर को भी प्लस कर रहा हूँ, इसको भी ठीक कर रहा हूँ, डिविडेंड को प्लस कर देंगे, ये भी कंडीशन सही लग रहा है मुझे। आई थिंक आई एम नॉट मिसिंग आउट एनीथिंग। हाँ ठीक लग रहा है यार मुझे, लॉजिक तो सही लग रहा है ना? व्हाट से गाइस, लॉजिक इज क्वाइट गुड। सो लेट्स ट्राई टू चेक दिस आउट। आई थिंक दिस लुक्स प्रीटी गुड टू मी। Solve this. Let's look at this. Cool. Very good, yaar. Thank you so much, guys. Vikash, Shubham, very, very good logic. So yes, absolutely, very good logic. Very good logic. Yes, absolutely correct, guys. Great. So yeah, so the logic is absolutely correct. So same logic है. Again हमने dividend को minus करते गया हूँ, and then I just kept on adding into my answer, and उसमें एक simple negative का flag का condition भी लगा दिया कि अगर वो flag होगा then we have to look out for my minimum and maximum also, है ना? So उसके accordingly हमें figure out करना है। तो cool, simple है guys. Again I think logic तो समझ में आ ही गया होगा, and people you were already, I saw the chat, so you were already discussing the logic. So the same logic I have tried to implement it here also. Very, very good guys, very good. Great. Let's try to submit this also. हाँ, इसको सबमिट करके देखते हैं ना एक बार. इनफैक्ट सबमिट करके देखते हैं तो वो हमारा वो टेस्ट केस भी पता हो जाएगा इसमें कि सॉर्ट आउट कर रहा है कि नहीं. ओके चलो, ये प्रॉब्लम कर गया हमारा. देखते हैं कहाँ पे प्रॉब्लम कर गया. लेट्स लुक एट द कोड. सो इसमें इसने बोला कि मेरे पास 7 and 3 है. अच्छा ओके, सो ये माइनस में प्रॉब्लम कर गया. सो बेसिकली अच्छा जी, ओके, तो मैंने तो नेगेटिव साइन दिया नहीं ना यहाँ पे. माइनस ऑफ माई आंसर और माइनस ऑफ माई ये है ना. तो ये देख रहे हो, ये इतना लंबा वैल्यू हो गया आउटपुट में. ये मैंने माइनस ही भूल गया ना यहाँ पे, दिया ही नहीं. एक बार वापस से चेक कर लेता हूँ यार. सबमिट करके देखते हैं यार. इट शुड बी वैलिड. ग्रेट, एब्सोल्युटली हो गया ना विकास. लॉजिक सही है यार विकास, उसमें कोई प्रॉब्लम नहीं है इनफैक्ट. कूल, ग्रेट. आप एक बार सॉल्यूशन देख लो वापस से, है ना. आई एम जस्ट गिविंग यू द एंटायर स्क्रीन अगेन. ग्रेट. ओके, बहुत ही सही, बहुत ही दिल बना के बजाय रोहित ने. ओके, माइक्रोसॉफ्ट में जावा से क्या पूछेंगे यार. जावा, आई थिंक दिस इज नॉट द राइट चैट फॉर दैट रोहित. So you can, I mean, maybe look for, we have a separate class going on for Java, so you can ask the question there. So this is not relevant to our Python class. You know? Great guys. Chalo, let's, I think it's 11:15. Shall we do one more question or shall we just wrap up, guys? Just quickly tell me if you want to take one more question or you want to wrap up for the day. Okay, one more. क्या हो गया स्वप्निल, गुड नाइट क्यों बोल दिया यार, मतलब नॉट मेकिंग सेंस. ओके चलो, वन मोर क्वेश्चन क्विकली करते हैं. ये करें लाइन से करते हैं यार. अभी तो कोई आपके पास कोई प्रेफरेंस नहीं है ना. तो इफ दैट इज नॉट द केस वी कैन टेक दिस वन ओनली. लाइन से सॉल्व करते हैं फटाफट, यही कर लेते हैं. But again, if you guys still have any preference, I also like taking preferences. It's fine. So we can take the preferences also. 25. Okay, let's look at 25. क्या है यार 25? So 20 rewards nodes. यार hard problem नहीं करते हैं. This will take time because if we get into the hard problem, right? Let's keep the hard problem for the start of our sessions, because generally hard problems will take, I think, half an hour, 45 minutes of time, because there'll be multiple edge conditions in that, right? So let's take this hard problem maybe tomorrow. And the very first, we can take the first question only. I'm okay with that. But now we are again almost at the end of the session, right? So this will again take again 30-45 minutes. So let's keep this for tomorrow. If you're okay with that, you know? Yeah, we can do this tomorrow. No problem in that. Right, so I think we can take a medium question. That's fine. This should be solved in, I think, 20-25 minutes. So let's take this one. Right. So we're gonna stick to the topic. So we're gonna say inputs. We're gonna have inputs here. We're gonna have outputs. Constraints. I'm gonna have flow. Acha guys, one more thing. One more thing. From tomorrow onwards, I was thinking to come at 9 o'clock. So it's getting a bit late in the night, you know. So I have to take care of some other things as well. So just let me know if you guys are comfortable if we go live instead of 10 at 9 p.m. So from tomorrow onwards, I was thinking to go live at 9 p.m. instead of 10. So just quickly let me know if this is fine with you guys, because again I really like when you guys interact, so that gives me the motivation to talk, right? So I want you guys also to be available at the same time. So just Just assurance from your side at 9 p.m. should be fine with you if I go live instead of 10 from tomorrow. Right, so meanwhile, let's look at the question. So given an integer array numbers, return all the triplets number given an integer array numbers. Okay, so given all the triplets, return all the triplets, number of I, number of j, number of k. Okay, such that I is not equal to j, I is not equal to k, and j is not equal to k. Okay, fair enough. And number of I plus number of j plus number of k is equal to 0. Cool. Nair, shortest palindrome. I don't know which question was that. Maybe you can give me the question number. Okay, anyway, we've started this one, so we'll solve this. We can take the shortest palindrome wala question tomorrow. Sure, Shubham, absolutely. Why not? We can do that. Chalo, cool. Let's quickly try to solve this guy. So given an array of integers, so मेरे पास array of integers and all the triplets मेरे को ये return करना है ना? That's gonna be what I'll be needing. And what I want, so such that I is not equal to j. Okay, so this is gonna be my condition. So I is not equal to j, j is not equal to k. Fair enough. And numbers are also not equal to 0. है ना? दो ही condition है मेरे पास. Notice the solution set must not contain duplicate triplets. So duplicate triplets नहीं होने चाहिए. And also empty वाला भी condition follow करना है. So we have to look for empty condition also. है ना? So क्या है? -1 0 1 2 -1 -4. Okay, so इसका triplets बनाना है मुझे. So I, j, k same नहीं होना चाहिए. Fair enough. And number also 0 से sum का sum 0 नहीं होना चाहिए, है ना? So -1 -2. I is not equal to j. Fine. I is not equal to k. Fine. And j is also not equal to k. Fine. And number of this sum जो है 0 नहीं है. Is equal to 0. Okay, so this has to be equal to 0. My bad. So yes, 2 -2 0. Fair enough. Cool hai, simple hai. Okay, so we have few more things. Sort the array, fix an element and apply to some approach in the remaining array. Yes, we can do that. Making sense. Yes, sorting definitely also looks good to me. Yes, we can do that. My idea is to sort the array. Yes, we can sort the array and run two loops. Outer one points to I. Inner loop contains left and the right pointers. मैं समझा नहीं. ओके, सो आप कह रहे हो कि टू लूप्स करेंगे. टू लूप्स का तो मैं लॉजिक समझा. ओके, सो फर्स्ट मैं पहले तो सॉर्ट कर देता हूँ. एनीवे सॉर्टिंग तो आई थिंक ये सबका एक पॉइंट है. सॉर्ट डेफिनेटली सॉर्ट मुझे भी लग रहा है सॉर्ट तो करना पड़ेगा इसमें, है ना. एंड देन मेरे पास क्या है? अरेज हैं. सो मेरे पास लेंथ ऑफ अरेज हैं. सो वी हैव टू अगेन लूप लेंथ ऑफ अरेज में करना करेगा. विल टेक टाइम. शुभम, अगेन आपका पॉइंट बिल्कुल सही, बट अगेन एज आई हैव सेड time complexity is not an issue in your competitive programming, to be honest. Well, specifically on your interviews process, but again we can think of some other topic, other concept. So sorting के अलावा हम और क्या कर सकते हैं? We can think of one more. Also we'll look at that, but let's stick to sorting for now. I think sorting मुझे एक better approach दिख रहा है, easy approach दिख रहा है. But again let me think if we can do it in some other way also, है ना. ओके, सो अभी पहले सॉर्टिंग का देखते हैं. सो सॉर्टिंग से कर लेंगे, वी कैन डू दैट. एंड देन वी हैव द रेंज ऑफ माई अरे, सो आई मीन द लेंथ ऑफ माई नंबर्स बेसिकली, है ना. सो वी कैन रेंज ऑन ऑल ऑफ दिस, सो आई मीन लूपिंग ऑन टॉप ऑफ दैट. सो फॉर दैट मैं क्या करूँगा? ओके, सो अगर सपोज डुप्लीकेट हो गया, डुप्लीकेट के लिए मेरे को एक डुप्लीकेट का चेक लगा दूंगा एंड लेफ्ट एंड राइट पॉइंटर्स भी कर दूंगा मैं. एग्जैक्टली, आई थिंक अब मैं आपका भी लॉजिक समझ रहा हूँ. ओके, कूल. लेफ्ट I plus 1 एब्सोल्युटली. एंड राइट में क्या बोल रहे हो आप? लेंथ ऑफ अरे -1. यस, राइट. I plus 1 तो डेफिनेटली बिल्कुल करेक्ट बोल रहे हो आप. I plus 1 होगा. एंड लेंथ ऑफ अरे -1. यस, राइट पॉइंटर के लिए लेंथ ऑफ अरे -1 बेसिकली n-1 कर लेंगे हम. करेक्ट, बिल्कुल सही. वेरी 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 नाइस विकास. वी कैन डू दैट. यस. एंड सॉर्टिंग में अगेन ओके, रिड्यूसिंग द टाइम. ठीक है, चलो. इनफैक्ट लेट्स डू विद योर अप्रोच ओनली दिस टाइम विकास. लेट्स डू दैट. I'll try to use your left pointers and right pointers वाला logic only. ठीक है, sorting करके इसको वही बनाते हैं, same logic से solve करते हैं. Cool, great guys. I'm really liking it. So I mean, you're also giving me some heads up. So I'm trying to think in your direction. So just trying to formulate my code accordingly, है ना? But I think thank you so much guys. So you're actually interacting. This is actually very good. So this is also making me lively in the class, right? So let's do that. So हम क्या सकते हैं, सबसे पहले क्या मेरे पास अरे है ना, सो मेरे पास नंबर्स है यहाँ पे. सो नंबर्स क्या है, लिस्ट ऑफ माई वैल्यूज. सो सबसे पहले हम क्या करते हैं, नंबर्स को सॉर्ट कर देते हैं. क्या करेंगे, नंबर्स डॉट सॉर्ट. बोले सॉर्ट पता है बाय डिफॉल्ट सॉर्ट कर देता है. सो नंबर्स को ही एडिट कर देगा. तो इसको नम्स इज इक्वल टू नम्स डॉट सॉर्ट लिखने की जरूरत नहीं है. बाय डिफॉल्ट नम्स ही सॉर्ट हो जाता है. ठीक है, ये सॉर्टिंग का फायदा, इस सॉर्ट फंक्शन का फायदा है. अदरवाइज मेरे पास एक और ऑप्शन है सॉर्टेड. हम सॉर्टेड भी कर सकते हैं, बट इसमें मेरे को नम्स का लिखना पड़ेगा. तो इधर वे इज फाइन, बट सॉर्ट लिखते हैं, सॉर्ट सिंपल है. ठीक है, तो अभी मेरे पास नम्स क्या हो गया, नम्स डॉट सॉर्ट हो गया. कूल. अब मेरे पास क्या है, अब मेरे को लूपिंग करना है फॉर ईच ऑफ माई अरे, राइट. सो बेसिकली माई अरे एलिमेंट्स के ऊपर मैं लूपिंग करना है ना. सो एक काम करता हूँ, अगेन मैं इनिशियलाइज कर देता हूँ कुछ चीज़ों को. सो मेरे पास और ट्रिपलेट्स बनाने हैं मेरे को. ट्रिपलेट्स बेसिकली ऐसे ऐसे करके ट्रिपलेट्स बनाने हैं. सो ट्रिपलेट्स अगेन क्या, लिस्ट है, राइट. सो अगेन इनिशियलाइज कर सकते हैं, ट्रिपलेट्स को इनिशियलाइज करते हैं, ट्रिपलेट्स. सो ट्रिपलेट्स गोना बी माई व्हाट, इज गोना बी माई लिस्ट. ओके, so this is gonna be my, I have initialized the triplets at list. So basically इसमें मैं ऐड करता चला जाऊंगा लूप के ऊपर. एंड ऑल्सो मेरे पास क्या है, ठीक है. so I think these two are fine enough. Then we can start. So अब मेरे को क्या करना है, अब हर एक कैरेक्टर के ऊपर मेरे को लूप इन करनी है, राइट. सो मैं क्या बोलूंगा, फॉर आई इन sorry, for I in what? So I in my range of my 0 to length of my nums. ठीक है. So for each of my characters, so I'm saying that for my length of my numbers, now I want to check all of my values, right? Again इसके ऊपर सेम लॉजिक लगाते हैं, लेफ्ट एंड राइट पॉइंटर्स लगाते हैं, बट इसमें एक कंडीशन मेरे को और जो दिमाग में आ रहा है, मेरे को डुप्लीकेट्स भी तो हटाना पड़ेगा ना. सो अब अगेन अगर मैं पहले तो यहाँ पे सिमिलरली इसके बाद मेरे को लुक फॉर डुप्लीकेट्स होगा, राइट. सो डुप्लीकेट्स वी हैव टू रिमूव. सो वी कैन नॉट टेक द डुप्लीकेट्स बिफोर असाइनिंग द लेफ्ट राइट. सो अगेन वन दिस इज ट्रू, आई एम गोना असाइन द लेफ्ट एंड द राइट पॉइंटर. सो व्हाट विकास वाज सेइंग अबाउट, सो वी गोना असाइन इट लाइक दिस. बट हियर आई थिंक दिस वन कंडीशन वुड कम वेयर आई हैव टू लुक फॉर दिस वैल्यू स्पेसिफिकली, जहाँ पे वो सेम नहीं हो सकता है. सो व्हाट कैन वी डू, वी कैन डू इट फॉर, अच्छा यहाँ पर इसका वो नहीं करते हैं. सो वी कैन थिंक ऑफ व्हाट कैन वी डू. सो इफ माई आई वैल्यू इज ग्रेटर देन 0, सो या, सो इफ माई आई वैल्यू इज ग्रेटर देन 0, राइट, सो वी कैन डू दैट. सो बेसिकली वी कैन से if my I is greater than 0, okay, so my first condition, if my I is greater than 0 and my nums of my I, so my nums of my I, my character is equal to my nums of my I minus 1. Cool, fair enough. So if both the conditions, if this is greater than 0 and also my ith and the previous elements are same, so in this case we're gonna just simply skip the characters and we're gonna say, guys, go on and continue, right. So do not skip here, let's just continue here. Okay, so let's continue the code. So in this case now I'm gonna assign my left and the right pointers in this place, right. So if this is greater than 0 and nums of I is equal to I minus 1, so मैंने character का भी check कर दिया. So left pointer क्या होगा मेरे पास, left pointer, so left pointer, so there's gonna be my I plus 1, so left gonna be my left gonna be my what, I is gonna be left is equal to I plus 1, right, and right gonna be what, is gonna be my n. So n what would be, so my final number is going to be length of numbers, is going to be my like length of numbers, right, minus 1. Great, yes, making sense totally, guys. So I think this is absolutely great. So we have the left and the right pointers defined. So we have my I plus 1 for my left, and the right would be my n minus 1. So correct. Cool. And my अब मैं क्या कर सकता हूँ? Now I have my pointers defined. अब for the remaining pairs, so ये तो मेरा बना ना pair. So अब अगर मैं अब remaining pair के बारे में बात करूँ, so for my other pairs, so in this case, while my left is less than right, right? So till the time my left is less than my right, so I'm gonna continue my code. In this case, I'm gonna say that now here also the sum has to be 0, right? So sum has to be 0. So again, if I say if my nums of my I, and then for the sake just write here j and k, so I have to just again I have to just keep on adding, right? So just write simply j only. So let's j and k, है ना? So let's write j and k only. So j and k, so if nums of I plus nums of j plus nums of k, right? If this is equal to 0, right? In this case, this is where I'll be appending my triplets, right? So now in this case, triplets dot append. I'm gonna append what? So I'm gonna append my values here. So that's gonna be what's my numbers of I. It's gonna be number of j, and then it's gonna be numbers of k. Cool. So that's where my triplets will be appended here. Right now, if this is true, now in this case, I'm just gonna append j is equal to plus 1. So I'm gonna add j to plus 1, and then definitely will be avoiding the duplicates for j also, right? So in this case, again, so j is fine. Now we have to avoid the duplicates for j also. J is for k, right? So j is similar to my k. So in this case, I'll be saying while again. So j is less than k, okay, this is anyway good, and nums of my j is equal to nums of my j minus 1. Cool. So I have written this j as k, and this is fine, and this is fine. So j is plus 1. So j, I'm adding j with a pointer of plus 1, right? And then I'm also saying that if j is less than k, and also my previous index is same, so that's where I'm avoiding the duplicates for j. In this case, if this is true actually, so I'll be doing what? So I'll be doing while j is plus equal to 1 again. Cool. Now this is for my if condition. So what if for my elif? So I have another condition for my elif. If is my numbers of these, so if numbers of these condition, numbers of I and j and k is less than 0, right? So I have my the negative value here. In this case, again I'll be saying j plus equal to 1. So I'll be appending my j here, or else in this case it will be what? K. So k will be what? K will be my, so I'll be have to remind, so I'll be like minus equal to 1 in this case for k. Cool. Right, making sense. So j is k, and then if this is fine, append the triplets and keep on appending till the time is fine, index is good. And also if this is less than 0, then append it with j, fine, else k is less than minus 1. Absolutely great. And looks good to me. The logic seems fine. And now at the end of all this, I'll be returning. So return what's? Return triplets. Cool. Great. So I think people are saying the same thing. So if nums of left, right, grade 0, Vikash, I think nums of plus, sir, and one more important point, we also need to apply duplicate skip logic inside inner loop as well. Yes, this is where I have written this particular. So this is where I have written this skip logic. Absolutely, yes, very well pointed out, Vikas. Correct बोला आपने. भाई आप also skip the we skip from J side only ना. नहीं तो ये आई थिंक जे, अगर जे का हो जाएगा ना तो बाय डिफॉल्ट के का भी हो जाएगा, बिकॉज आप खुद सोचो, अगर आप, मैं सिंपल अगर जे का भी करूंगा तो वो के का भी हो जाएगा। मैं सिंपल जे का के से कंपेयर कर रहा हूँ, और मैं एलिफ कंडीशन में भी लिखा हुआ है यहाँ पे, अगर लेस देन जीरो गया तो ये जे प्लस वन होगा, और एल्स के माइनस वन हो जाएगा यहाँ पे। वो आई थिंक मेरे ख्याल से आप जो बोल रहे हो ना वो कवर हो जाएगा विकास। हाँ, के को डिक्रीज करना होगा, एब्सोल्युटली के को डिक्रीज ही करना होगा, एब्सोल्युटली करेक्ट। यस, है ना? आई थिंक लॉजिक आपको भी समझ में आ रहा है। प्रशांत से 27 में आप क्या कह रहे हो? लेंथ ऑफ नंबर्स माइनस टू तक लूप चलेगा। ओके सो लेंथ ऑफ, ओके सो लेंथ ऑफ, आप क्या कह रहे हो? लेंथ ऑफ नंबर्स माइनस टू तक लूप क्यों चलेगा यार? मैं समझा नहीं आपका ये पॉइंट। लेस्ट ऑफ टू तक क्यों चलेगा ये? मैं अगर कोई लॉजिक है तो मैं समझ नहीं पा रहा हूँ। Okay, meanwhile Prashant also explains, so let's say J side में 1 1 1 0 2 2 है, J will skip only once ना, but not K side. Okay, मैं again आपको एग्जाम्पल में, let's say J side में आपके पास 1 1 1 0 2 2 2 है, हाँ ठीक है, great, and then आपके पास J will skip 1, नहीं ना यार, अच्छा आपने वैसे अभी जस्ट मैसेज किया, करेक्ट किया एब्सोल्युटली, बिकॉज आप खुद लॉजिक में देखो, इनफैक्ट यहाँ पे मैंने यहाँ पे जे तो प्लस वन किया ही किया है, एंड इसके इनर लूप में भी स्किपिंग का लॉजिक लगा रखा है, एंड इनफैक्ट इफ इसके अगेंस्ट में मैंने यहाँ पे स्टॉप नहीं किया है, आई हैव रिटन द एलिफ एंड द एल्स कंडीशन बोथ, और यहाँ पे इसको माइनस वन करा है इफ द कंडीशन, बोथ द कंडीशन जीरो एंड लेस देन माइनस वन, अगर लेस जीरो और लेस देन जीरो का वैलिड नहीं होगा तो बेसिकली इसका ग्रेटर देन का कंडीशन है। तो इस केस में के ऑब्वियसली सी बात है कि रिड्यूस करोगे आप, राइट? चलो एक बार क्विकली रन करके भी देख लेते हैं इसको। लेट्स क्विकली रन दिस लॉजिक। आई थिंक लॉजिक आपका सही है विकास, एब्सोल्युटली लॉजिक तो करेक्ट लग रहा है मुझे। एक बार रन करके देख लेते हैं। चलो क्या है, नम नॉट डिफाइंड, कहाँ नम नॉट डिफाइंड है यार? जे कहाँ नम लिख दिया मैंने? लाइन 41। अच्छा जी, ओके इट्स नम्स, नम्स है। कोड रन करके देखते हैं। करेक्ट, सही है, लॉजिक बिल्कुल सही है ना? और ये इनफैक्ट एज कंडीशंस को भी कैटर करना चाहिए इसको। आई डोंट थिंक देयर इज अ प्रॉब्लम इन द एज कंडीशन आल्सो, बट एक बार चेक कर लेते हैं। राइट, ग्रेट, कूल, सही है, ग्रेट, सिंपल है। इट्स जस्ट ऑल अबाउट गाइस, आप ना थोड़ा सोचो इस क्वेश्चन को लेकर के। अगर आप ओके सो विश्वनाथ से ओके विश्वनाथ से एक बार एक्सप्लेन कर सकते हैं? हाँ थोड़ा एक्सप्लेन कर सकता हूँ, मैं कर दूंगा, बिल्कुल कर दूंगा। इनफैक्ट आई वुड रिक्वेस्ट आप विकास से बेटर समझो। विकास वो आप इनफैक्ट चैट भी रेफर कर सकते हो विश्वनाथ। आई जस्ट यूज व्हाट विकास हैज एक्सप्लेन्ड, है ना? सो आप एक बार चैट भी रेफर करो। विकास नहीं, आई यूज द लॉजिक विद विकास was explaining actually to build up the code, है ना? So can we relate LSTM and flip-flop control circuit? LSTM and flip-flop control circuit. अब again आप CodeBeyond को पूछ रहे हो, so I'm not sure if you want me to answer this. But again good question यार। I mean flip-flop control circuit से LSTM को रिलेट कैसे करोगे? आई एम जस्ट स्केप्टिकल, बट अगेन इस क्लास का टॉपिक नहीं है, सो विल डिस्कस इन आवर डेटा साइंस पार्ट ऑफ दिस, बट आई इट्स अ गुड क्वेश्चन, आई विल कम बैक टू यू ऑन दिस। LSTM तो इट्स अ डिफरेंट स्टोरी ऑल टुगेदर। सो अगर आप प्रॉपर लॉन्ग सीक्वेंस की बात कर रहे हो, यू आर नॉट फेडिंग आउट थिंग्स, सो अब LSTM को ट्रांसफॉर्मर्स के थ्रू देखो अटेंशन लेयर लगा करके, बट फ्लिप फ्लॉप कंट्रोल सर्किट, चलो ठीक है, विल डिस्कस ऑन दिस, है ना? ओके ठीक है शुभम। चलो यार, ये दिस इज नॉट रेलेवेंट टू आवर दिस सेशन ना, तो पीपल विल माइट नॉट लाइक इट, बट आई विल कम बैक टू यू ऑन दिस, है ना? हाँ यार, विकास मशीन लर्निंग भी पढ़ा रहे हैं, अभी बिल्कुल पढ़ाएंगे। हमने डेटा साइंस स्टार्ट करा है, सो उसमें अभी हमने बेसिक एनएलपी पढ़ा है, बट मशीन लर्निंग भी पढ़ाएंगे, वो भी ऑब्जेक्टिव है। बट पता है आपको, मैं आपको फ्रैंकली बताऊंगा गाइस, फॉर एनी डेटा साइंस जॉब ना, पाइथन इज द बिग ब्रेन बिहाइंड ऑल दिस थिंग्स। सो अगर आप मशीन लर्निंग, डीप लर्निंग कुछ भी जो बोलते हो ना, दीज आर ऑल थ्योरीज, राइट। अल्टीमेटली वो इम्प्लीमेंट कैसे हो रहे हैं, दे ऑल आर गेटिंग इम्प्लीमेंटेड इन डेटा साइंस फॉर पाइथन ओनली, राइट। मेजरली पाइथन है। So always be sure that you have to be really good in Python to implement all of this. If you are good in Python, theories क्या है? Theories you can get it. I mean, you can learn it in again a week, 10 days, 15 days, एक month लग जाएगा, उससे ज़्यादा क्या लगेगा? इतने ज़्यादा concept भी नहीं है हमारे पास, right? Data science में. For any concept to learn, it will not take much time if you're good in learning anyway, right? But ultimately problem क्या आती है? Implementation में. थ्योरी सब पढ़ लेते हैं, बट इंप्लीमेंट करने में डिफिकल्टी आती है। वो डिफिकल्टी क्यों आती है? बिकॉज यू डोंट हैव दैट गुड ग्रास्प इन पाइथन, दैट्स वेयर द प्रॉब्लम कम्स। So that is the reason why we are focusing more on Python. That's how I have learned in my experience. That's how I believe what a good data scientist is and how does he perform the work, right? So it's always, it's a mandatory skill to be good in Python, because without that you cannot implement things. And just by knowing things in your brain does not really benefiting your business, right? Cool, great guys. So I think it's pretty much it. मजा आया आप लोग के साथ? In my company, my task is to relate vectors with words and bring some equations. Vectors with words. Okay, ठीक है, and bring some equations. True यार, true. चलो लगे रहो, अब भी लगे रहो. We'll discuss on this ना? We'll discuss on this separately. Chalo, cool guys. I think it's pretty much late. So again, just an info to everybody. From tomorrow onwards, we'll be going live at 9 p.m. guys. Please do not miss out the classes. I always like when you guys interact, and I want you to be part of this session. If you're not comfortable at 9, I'll still try to come at 10, but I would like you to take it at 9. है ना? So let's meet tomorrow at 9 p.m. guys. Please do not forget. Shubham, Vikash, Prashant, whosoever is part of our chat today, guys. So do not forget. Although in the playlist you might be seeing at 10 p.m. right now, I'll get it updated. So you will be seeing 9 p.m. from tomorrow. Okay, so I'll get it updated. Right? Great. Hey Prashant, tier 3 student कोई नहीं होता यार. कोई भी टीयर 3 स्टूडेंट्स नहीं होता है. सब, मुझे लगता है ना कि सब एक जैसे स्टूडेंट होते हैं. किसी को थोड़ा जल्दी समझ में आता है, किसी को थोड़ा लेट में समझ में आता है, बट कोई बुरा नहीं होता है. तो अपने आप को कोई कैटेगराइज मत करो दैट यू आर टियर 3 स्टूडेंट और टियर 1 स्टूडेंट. ऐसा कुछ नहीं होता है. अल्टीमेटली आप खुद सोचो ना, अगर आपके कॉलेज में अगर प्लेसमेंट हो रही है, अगर आपके, आई एम नॉट गिविंग, आई डोंट वांट टू गिव यू एनी स्पेसिफिक नंबर, बट आपको पता होगा कि आपके कॉलेज की अगर सपोज के पूल प्लेसमेंट हो रही है, तो सेम कंपनी में आपके टियर 1 के स्टूडेंट भी जाते हैं, टियर 3 के स्टूडेंट भी जाते हैं. अल्टीमेटली सबकी सैलरी सेम ही होती है, ऑलमोस्ट सिमिलर होती है, राइट? बहुत डिफरेंस नहीं होता है. अल्टीमेटली आपके अल्टीमेट एम क्या है? अल्टीमेट एम इज टू अर्न मनी, राइट? So do not get confused by all this, like वो टॉपर है and then I'm the tier 3 student. थोड़ा डिफिकल्ट होगा, but ultimately you will be at the same place only. प्रैक्टिकली बता रहा हूँ आपको. सो डू नॉट गेट कंफ्यूज बाय ऑल दिस वर्ड. प्लेसमेंट के लिए आपका स्किल सेट इंपॉर्टेंट है, वो कोई आपसे नहीं छीन सकता, और उसके लिए आपको प्रैक्टिस करना पड़ेगा. अगर Python is the requirement there, then you have to work on Python. You cannot just say that, okay, I'll do it, please give me job, there's a COVID, there's a family emergency, I need job, I'm very poor. You cannot say all this to get a job. आपको skills show करना पड़ेगा. And in that case, you have to learn things. Ultimately, आपको पढ़ना तो पड़ेगा ही ना. Without that, you cannot get a job anyway. But there is no comparison कि आप tier 3 हैं तो आपकी job difficult लगेगी. If you are skilled enough, you will be employed. That is the only requirement here. है ना? In fact, आपको मैं खुद भी बताऊं, I am from electronics background. Okay, so I was very bad in coding in my college days. In fact, I was the college university gold medalist of my college, but the problem was I only got like only one subject I ever failed in my career. That was C programming in my first semester. Okay, but I always hated coding. But that's how you learn, right? I took it as a challenge post that. It was a really shocker for me. But eventually I took it as a challenge. And then, see, again, I'm not boasting myself. Don't take it otherwise. But the only objective is you have to understand कि आपकी requirement क्या है. If the requirement is to be skilled enough, that's the bare requirement to get a job, right? तो उसको तो करना ही पड़ेगा. You cannot skip away from that. Right, बहुत सारा ज्ञान की बातें हो गई यार. I don't want to be Jeetu sir for any case. Follow Quota Factory, yeah, this is awesome. Right. Great guys, chalo theek hai anyway, jokes apart. Let's meet tomorrow at 9 p.m. है ना? Let's meet tomorrow at 9 p.m. and we can continue solving problems. Star mark, nahi yaar, I'm really sorry, it's too late. And as I've said, so my daughter really waits for me, so I have to go to her. So it's too late already. So let's meet tomorrow at 9 p.m. So if we meet tomorrow at 9 p.m, we can continue with maybe some more longer. That is the reason why I was thinking to come at 9. So we can stretch a bit more. But with this time, it gets really late. So we'll see tomorrow. And please, guys, do not forget we'll be going live tomorrow at 9 p.m. I'm still stressing on that. Please do not forget to join at 9 p.m. Okay. So we'll be going live at 9 p.m. Great. Thank you so much, guys. Have a good evening ahead. Good night. Stay safe. See you tomorrow. Happy learning. Bye-bye.